Hello my beautiful little muglets. Today we're going over my top 5 favorite games of 2019. I've tried a ton of them out this year and unfortunately couldn't keep up with them all, but there are some that have left an impression, obviously mostly the ones I've made series on, but without further ado, let's get into this list. Up at number 5 we have King's Raid. I wasn't playing it very much this year, but I wanted to mention it since it was one of the games I played the longest out of any in this list. The things I really liked about it are the progression system, the art style, the fact you can get the heroes you want without gacha, and the gameplay. Starting with the progression system, I always felt that my characters were getting stronger and at a good pace, and the resources to raise them were fair to get. The longer I played, the more free-to-play friendly the game got, handing out lots of stamina potions and materials to raise your heroes. You did have to be very active to get everything the game had to offer, and there were many competitive sides to the game like real-time arena, world boss rankings, and more. The art style speaks for itself. I am a bit of a closet weeb and do in fact like anime art, so there's that. When I last checked out the game, there were tons of cosmetics and even more costumes and lots of things to customize your favorite waifu or husbando, so that's nice. The fact you can get your favorite heroes with just a flat fee of 4,000 to 6,000 rubies I always thought was nice. However, to be competitive you do need special weapons and other equipment you can only get from gacha. It is a bit of a trade-off, but I'd much rather prefer it this way. The characters are generally the most important for most people. It's who you're playing with, who you're looking at, and the skill set they're using. The weapons and treasures just make them better. And finally, I always thought the King's Raid gameplay was nice. It's like halfway turn-based, halfway action. The heroes are always doing their basic skill without any control from you, and you choose which skills to use and when to use them. This can be especially exciting in Arena, where timing can make or break a match. But yeah, ultimately, I had a really good time playing King's Raid. My reason for quitting is usually the same for most games. I ran out of stuff to do, couldn't make any goals for myself, and got bored. In the meantime, they have a lot more content, but I don't think I could come back after such a long break. Up at number 4 we have Black Desert Mobile. I'd say the best thing about this game is the graphics and the satisfying gameplay. I was playing BDM pretty recently, but since about a month ago I have not been playing anymore. I'll probably pick it back up now that it's globally released, as one of the bigger reasons for stopping at that time was having to always use a VPN to play. Besides that, I also didn't have mini goals to reach. Last I played, their PvP system was still a bit uninspiring, and while Ramanes Arena was fun, the one time I got to play it, the actual ability to get a match was almost non-existent. With that being said, damn, this game does look good. I'd absolutely not question these graphics on a console, maybe even a PC. But the problem is, one almost needs to play it on a PC anyway, since even if your phone can smoothly run it at 60 FPS, it will drain the battery and heat up the device to the point where the graphics aren't really worth it. My Note 9, while a relic at the end of 2019 as far as the tech space is concerned, can run it smoothly at the max settings, but I run it on medium since it's not worth the extra battery drain and heat. And then we have the gameplay. I've only ever played as the Valkyrie, so my opinion is on her playstyle, and I think it's great. The hits feel very satisfying, very good responsiveness and fluidity in the gameplay, and all around a pleasant experience. The main drawback at the time I stopped playing was the fact it was/is quite pay to win, all the while not even having a lot of various content. It hopefully has changed by now, and I'll be sure to check it out again. As a full package though, it is a very nice game, and I can accept the pay to win nature of it, especially until they have more incentives for being competitive. Up at number 3 is a game no one who watches my channel will expect. Actually, not being sarcastic here, but it's War Dragons. I've never made a video on this game, I've never even mentioned that I play this game, I'm not being sponsored or anything else, but I've been playing it for a little over 3 months now. Why, you ask? Oh, you didn't ask. Well, I want to explain anyway. There are 3 main reasons I didn't make content for it. 1, I can't get it to work on an emulator, which is important for me when making videos. 2, it's a pretty old game and I'm not sure people would actually be interested in it. And 3, it's a very different game than what I usually showcase on my channel, both graphically and gameplay wise. But I thought it would be fair to include it in this list. So, why do I like it? Well, as you could probably see already, the gameplay is pretty interesting. Different from anything I've personally played before, but more than that is that the dragons are all quite unique as well. But it can't just be the gameplay, right? Well, no, of course not. The one main thing I really like about War Dragons is how they do events. In the entire time I've been playing War Dragons, I've only ever gone through one full event. I started at the last couple weeks of Summer's event, fully completed the fall event, and now we're at the beginning of the winter event. This is what orbits the game, these seasonal events. You can get a variety of different rewards during a season, and you have to decide how you're going to play it. The ultimate rewards are special dragons and dragon riders. This game rewards smart play, managing resources, and being consistent. Each week there's a different sub-event within the 3-month season event, which alternates between breeding, where you should be using your eggs for extra rewards, fortification, where you should be using your timers for extra rewards, and PvP, where you should hopefully be stronger than you were last PvP so you can better defeat the opposing teams. It's also very team/guild oriented, especially in PvP, where you have to work together, plan, and back up each other on runs to get the most points possible. And then we have Atlas, which is almost another game entirely, so I won't go too much into that, but it also has its own seasonal event where you can get the best gear for your dragon riders among other rewards. So yeah, all in all, the gameplay is fun, the events are really fleshed out, and there's always something to aim for, which for me is very important. Up at number 2, which is on the other side of the coin, a surprise to no one except maybe its placement, and that is Epic 7. Epic 7 is having a bit of a rough time right now due to their most recent big update not being very well received, and that's quite the understatement. But all in all, I think it's still a very good game, and they're making moves in the right direction. Epic 7 is a fully turn-based RPG where the main focus is on team building. Some content is much easier or harder based on how well or poorly your team synergizes with one another, and of course, their gear plays a huge part in that power as well. I'm perhaps a little lost on what made me fall in love with Epic 7 in the first place by now, since I'm more or less at in-game and grinding the things we're expected to grind, but the visuals are still one of the best, the quality and the ultimate animations are pretty much unrivaled from what I've seen, and all in all it's generally a pleasant game. For harder or new content you haven't played yet, you generally want to turn the auto feature off and really take your time looking over the boss and making a strategy on how to beat it and with what team. I know there are a lot of people that spend a lot of money in Epic 7, but you absolutely don't need to progress. The only thing I've purchased in the year I've been playing is the monthly pack for $5. Everything else doesn't have very good value, so there's not even a temptation to spend, in my opinion at least. They release new content on a pretty regular basis, but it's not always what the late game community wants, more like what a new player would be happy to see, like new chapters in story mode. Those are cool, but finish too fast, and outside of the 1 to 2 special rewards you get from the AP shop, there's no real reason to play it more often. As is typical, Arena is most of the in-game content as you're fighting with other players that are also continually growing. All in all though, I guess I wouldn't have played it for a year if I didn't like it, so here it is. I do still look forward to new heroes and trying to summon for them and try them out, but that's been slowing down recently as well with a lot of repeat banners. If you haven't tried Epic 7 though, I'd say it's in a pretty good spot for a beginner at least. You'll have plenty to do before hitting in-game. And finally at number 1, what could it be? Maybe it's Raid Shadow Legends. Just kidding, though I did actually play that for a while until they did a totally corrupt move on that game. I made a video about that if you're interested, but yeah. Number 1 is Honkai Impact 3rd. Why is a game I haven't posted content on in months my number 1 game of the year? Well, put simply, it's left the most lasting impression on me. I play it on and off because, unfortunately, how the game is designed, combined with my own character flaws, they can only mix for so long until I break. To get the most out of Honkai, you need to be active, like really active, and there are no auto buttons here. They have tons of content, and tons of events, and Abyss, and Memorial Arena, and more and more. So, my character flaw is very all or nothing. I can't take something casual or I get demotivated. That's just how it is. So I play for a while doing everything in the game every day until I can't anymore and I take some time off. Honkai is a very beautiful game. It plays well, the combat is smooth and satisfying, and there are a lot of ways to make goals for yourself, whether that's farming shards of a character you want, trying to do well in Abyss to save up crystals so you can try and pull a Stigmata set you want, just beating your high score in Memorial Arena, or doing well in their various events, and the list goes on. It's just that the list is too long and it can get overwhelming. With that being said, Honkai, I think, will always hold a special place in my heart as being one of the best action RPGs I've played. There's just something intrinsically different about it. But that'll pretty much do it for my top 5 favorite games. But yeah, make sure to tell me what you think in the comments down below. What were your favorite games of 2019? Are there any new games you're playing that you're really enjoying, or maybe ones that haven't come out yet that you're looking forward to? You can drop all that info in the comments down below. It's always interesting to hear some other perspectives. Leaving a like if you happen to enjoy is always greatly appreciated as well. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.